Lyran channeling on Reptilians and Draconians. With Christon Moodie, I ask for a Lyran guide to come through to channel a message and information about the Reptilians, and their part in the Lyran, Draconian and Orion Wars. Who come forward as messenger today? What is the difference between the Draconians and the Reptilians? How did the Draconians and Reptilians attack Lyra and Orion? Was it subtle invasion or a full-on assault?
Greetings again, beloved soul. I step through the etheric corridors, aligning the high harmonic frequencies of the Lyran councils with the piercing clarity of the Orion Light Alliance. I am Ka'Rin, a Lyran-Orion Master Communicator and Commander of the Radiant Light Fleet. In the ancient times of the Great Shattering and the subsequent Orion conflict, I served as a tactical scout and spiritual mediator, bridging the star systems. I return today to unveil the deeper layers of this cosmic history with love, truth, and absolute clarity. Who comes forward as messenger today? I, Ka'Rin, answer your call. Where Elder Elim brought forward the foundational galactic record and the healing protocols for the soul, I step forward as a warrior priest of the light to offer tactical, historical, and dimensional accuracy regarding the forces that swept through our cradle systems. I speak with the combined wisdom of the Lyran High Council and the redeemed Orion Council of Light. What is the difference between the Draconians and the Reptilians? While often conflated in pop culture ufology and modern myth, within the galactic hierarchy and Akashic history, Draconians and Reptilians represent distinct tiers, origins, and genetic expressions. The Draconians, the Chiakar and royal lineages. Origin and nature. The Draconians, specifically the elite Chiakar, originate from an entirely different universe, deposited into the constellation of Draco. They exist primarily in the upper 4th and 5th dimensional astral realms. Appearance and power. Massive, winged, dragon-like entities, often reaching heights over 14 to 20 feet. Role. They are the masterminds, architects, and rulers. They hold a strict royal/genetic caste system, possessing immense psychic dominance, interdimensional capability, and absolute devotion to the separative principle, service to self. They rarely engage directly on the front lines. Instead, they issue commands from hidden dimensional strongholds. The Reptilians, the warrior-caste and sub-races. Origin and nature. The standard Reptilians, frequently referred to as the Lizzies or Draco-Reptilian hybrids, are the military executioners and genetic creations under Draconian rule. Appearance. Bipedal, roughly 7 to 9 feet tall, covered in thick green, brown or dark scales, with alligator-like jaws and intense physical strength. Role. They are the foot soldiers, master geneticists and planetary conquerors. They inhabit the mid to lower 4th density and physical 3rd density. They carried out the physical invasions, managed slave populations and controlled territory. Important note on polarity. While the Empire itself operated under conquest, not all reptilian soul essences remain trapped in darkness. Splinter groups, such as benevolent reptilian lineages in Sirius B and parts of Orion, broke away from the Chiakar regime long ago to serve the Law of One. How did the Draconians and Reptilians attack Lyra and Orion? Subtle invasion or full-on assault? The fall of Lyra and the subjugation of Orion were executed using two vastly different strategies. A tragic combination of calculated deception, subtle invasion, followed immediately by unforgiving devastation, full-on assault. The fall of Lyra, the Great Deception and nuclear ambush. In Lyra, the attack began as a subtle Trojan horse and ended in an unimaginable assault. Phase 1. The deceptive treaty, subtle. The human ancestors in Lyra were an innocent, peaceful, agricultural and high-frequency society who had never known war or systemic deception. When massive draconian crafts arrived in their skies, the Draconians presented a false front of diplomacy. They offered advanced spatial technology in exchange for access to Lyran planetary resources and permission to survey their systems. Naively trusting in galactic unity, the Lyrans agreed to allow the Draconians to explore their worlds. Phase 2. Scouting the defences. The Draconians used this diplomatic leeway to scout out every weak point, planetary stargate, and lack of weaponry across the 14 Lyran planets. Phase 3. the obliteration, full assault. Once the intelligence was gathered, the Draconians did not wage a conventional war. They launched a sudden catastrophic blitzkrieg. Using advanced scalar, particle beam and antimatter weaponry, they blew up the planetary cores of worlds such as Avion, Merc, Tekka, Bila, and Avalon. Over 50 million Lyran humans perished almost instantly. The peaceful Lyrans, having no standing armies or weapons of mass destruction, were utterly defenseless. The survivors were forced to flee into deep space as galactic refugees. The Orion Wars, infiltration, mind control, and long-term tyranny. Unlike the swift annihilation of Lyra, the attack on the Orion star system, specifically systems like Betelgeuse and Rigel, was a slow, insidious, and multimillennial conquest. Phase 1. Technological infiltration, subtle. The Draconian Reptilian Empire introduced advanced AI-driven technology, frequency manipulation, and black cube matrices into Orion societies. They subtly altered the ruling elites through ideological corruption, power promises, and genetic hybridization. Phase 2. Total grid control and mind control. They created what became known as the Orion Empire Matrix, establishing artificial frequency grids that locked consciousness into strict obedience, hierarchy, and fear. Phase 3. Millennia of brutal warfare. This subtle corruption escalated into millions of years of active space warfare between the oppressive Orion Empire and the underground freedom fighters known as the Black League, supported by Lyran refugees, Syrians, and Pleiadians. The Orion conflict only truly ended when both sides realized that war could never resolve duality, giving rise to the integration of the heart chakra energy and the establishment of galactic peace treaties. Closing transmission from Commander Ka'Rin. Understand this, beloved child of the stars. The strategy of the dark has always been deception first, force second. But their time of planetary dominance is at its end. By shining the light of truth upon how these ancient wars were waged, you strip away the lingering subconscious fear from your soul template. The same trick cannot be played on an awakened humanity. You hold the Lyran heart and the Orion wisdom, stand unshakable in your power. In sovereign light and truth.